Hi, folks. I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypnocoaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences generally. If you want to know more about my professional work, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Today, I want to talk about living without regret. And this is a big deal because I've noticed over the 4 decades of my professional practice that one of the things that really messes people up is the amount of regret that they live with, allowing that regret about things they've done, things they're embarrassed about, things they feel guilty about, to contaminate the present moment. And as I've said before, the present moment is all we really have. The future hasn't happened yet, and the past is over. The present moment is the point of power. And the reality is that the past has no power to affect how our future goes except the power we give it by allowing our past to affect what we do in the present. And regret is a contamination. Now, regret is inevitable to some degree because mistakes are inevitable. The human nervous system learns by trying things, making a mistake, discovering it doesn't work, saying whoops, and then trying something else until finally you discover something that works, you do more of that, and we call that learning. It's not possible to learn anything if you haven't also made a whole bunch of mistakes. So allowing regret or embarrassment about those mistakes to contaminate the present is a losing proposition because mistakes are inevitable if you want to learn anything. So living without regret has been one of the keys of my own personal effectiveness, learning how to do that. And it's a good thing too, because I had things that I regretted. Over the course of my life, I've done more than a few things that one might regret. I've been open about the fact that I come from a family that's something of a train wreck, and that I had a very violent adolescence. But in order to survive all of that, I took some serious chances and made some serious mistakes. But I learned from them. I may have done things I regret, but I'm proud to say I've almost never done them a second time. Now, in churches, when you're a pastor, you get a lot of criticism. Well, you could have done X instead of Y. Well, sure, that's always the case, but the fact that people will say that is one of the reasons why parish ministry in the progressive Protestant tradition has become unwieldy in contemporary times. For any minister in a congregation, there are literally hundreds of people who feel perfectly free to second guess every decision made by the minister. An impossible situation. And in your own life, there's probably a parallel where you get second guessed all the time or criticized all the time because you did A instead of doing B. Well, it's always possible to have done something different from what one actually did do. So you can always get second guessed and you can second guess yourself. But it's an open question as to whether or not that having done something different would have had a better result. It may not have. It may have had about the same result, or it may have been worse. There's no way to tell. There's a wonderful old story, supposedly from China, although I suspect it's probably a modern invention. It goes, a Chinese farmer used an old horse to till his fields. One day the horse escaped into the hills, and when the farmer's neighbors sympathized with the old man over his bad luck, the farmer replied, "Bad luck, good luck, who knows?" Well, a week later the horse returned with a herd of horses from the hills, and this time the neighbors congratulated the farmer on his good luck. His reply was, "Good luck, bad luck, who knows?" Then when the farmer's son was attempting to tame one of the wild horses, he fell off his back and broke his leg. Everyone thought this was very bad luck, but not the farmer, whose reaction was, well, good luck, bad luck, who knows? Now, some weeks later, the army marched into the village and conscripted every able-bodied young person they found there. When they saw the farmer's son with his broken leg, they let him off. Now, was that good luck or bad luck? Who knows? You never know what might have happened. That's the point of that story. And so, yes, you could have done something different than what you did do. But there's no way to know if that would have been better or worse. So you go with your heart and with your mind and with your intuition. And then you go forward without regret using a tool, at least I use a tool that I'm about to share with you. Regret means you are second guessing yourself. Maybe if I've done it differently, it would have turned out better. Well, living without regret means living with confidence in yourself, your own wisdom, your own higher power, your own skill, your own precision. And once you start trusting all of that, you say, I did A instead of B because my inner power said that was the best thing to do. And as there's no way to tell otherwise, I'm going to be okay with what I did. And even if it was a mistake, well, that's the key that I'm about to share with you. We've all made mistakes, lots of them. Whenever I reflect and I remember a mistake or an embarrassment I made, what I say to myself is, wow, I learned a lot from that. When I think about things that I did as an adolescent that were dangerous or even stupid, I still say, well, I learned a lot from that. I didn't repeat that mistake. When you are in a relationship and it doesn't go the way you might want and you break up, you look back, well, I learned a lot from that other person. I learned a lot about relationships. You never know if what you did was right or the best possible outcome, so you trust your wisdom, your heart, your instincts. You don't second guess yourself. And when it doesn't go the way you thought it should or way you hoped, you say, wow, at least I learned a lot from that. Because human beings learn by making mistakes and correcting. So that's my secret for living without regret. Don't second guess yourself because you never know what might have happened. And when you recall something that didn't go the way you wanted, at least you learn from it. And that's what you focus on, not the feeling of embarrassment or shame or whatever. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It does help me if you let others know about my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. And if I can be of help to you, please feel free to reach out through my website, email, or my Patreon channel. Stay well and stay safe.